There's probably a lot of reasons why divorce rates are so high, and there are many different theories. My theory is that years ago, people had to work harder to survive, and they were more concerned with putting food on the table than with their personal well-being and happiness. Now that we have modern conveniences, we have more free time, people are thinking more about, what do I want to be happy in life? And so the people that I run across are realizing that life is short, and they want to spend the rest of their life being happy and not being miserable, as opposed to maybe in years past, life was so short that people would pass away before they would even think about divorce. Divorce is going to affect the whole family, and of course it will affect the children, no matter how amiable you are. It affects some children worse than other children. It just depends on the age of the children and how the parents are at co-parenting. But even without children, it's going to affect the parents and the siblings and other close relatives of the people involved. When it comes to divorce, I think everyone's situation is different. For some people, it should be a last resort, but in cases of domestic violence, it's probably past due. It needs to be done as soon as you encounter domestic violence. In Texas, we do not have legal separation, but I have had several instances where I sat down with a couple and we worked out a contract to lay the ground rules for how the separation would go for this particular couple while they work out whether or not they want to get back together again or get divorced. Other than that, if you want a court order, other than a protective order, then divorce is the only option. Anytime you take your total assets and debts and you divide them between two people, generally you're going to end up with less than what you had before, because you're taking the whole and dividing it into two pieces. But if your spouse is the type of spouse that was controlling everything before, then it may feel like you have more because you have more control. Or if you were the spouse who was trying to save and your other spouse was spending all the time or running up debts, then you are starting from a fresh new start so that you can build on that, and you'll be better off in the long run financially. A divorce proceeding usually starts with filing the petition to start the divorce. Sometimes people will start with mediation and work out their issues before they've even filed for divorce. But in order to get the divorce to the point of getting a final order, you have to first start with filing the petition, and then the other side may sign a waiver, or they may hire an attorney, or you may have to serve them with a process server. But you have to give them official notice somehow that this divorce is pending, and then we try to work out an agreement. If we can work out an agreement, then we can prove up the divorce within 60 days of when we filed. But if we cannot work out an agreement, then often we'll do mediation, and then eventually, if we can't agree, then we'll have a trial. It's never a good idea to represent yourself in a divorce. Number one, you're too emotionally involved for you to be a good lawyer for yourself. Number two, you're not trained as a lawyer, and the law is constantly changing, especially in family law. The legislature messes with family law every 2 years. And finally, you're not trained in the aspects of how to write a final decree of divorce. There are forms out there, and people try to do it themselves, but they're not specific enough to be enforceable. So a lot of times, many years down the road, they're still fighting over the division of their property because the divorce decree wasn't written properly. Family law and probate law is all that I do, so I spend a lot of time doing divorce proceedings, and I spend a lot of time at the courthouse, and I've been doing it for more than 30 years. I believe that people hire my firm to be their representation because we listen to people, and they come in here, they feel comfortable knowing that they are going to be heard and they're not just a number. My current and past clients would say that this firm really cares about them and that we really take care of the details so that everything is put into their decree that needs to be in there or into their order that needs to be there. We believe client communication is very important. Every time that we hear something from opposing counsel or from the other party, we will notify the client about what's going on in their case. We return phone calls that day or the very next day, and we check our emails several times a day. We're a small firm, and the advantage of working with a small firm is that you get to know all of the staff of the firm, and all of the staff of the firm gets to know you. My law firm is different from other firms because we really make a point to make sure that everybody on staff knows what's going on with all the cases. We sit down together and go over all the cases together as a staff, and we pray for our clients and we pray with our clients. In your initial consultation for divorce, you'll sit down with an attorney and we will talk about all of your property and all of your debts and how you want things to be divided.